I'm smiling because this journey of intermittent fasting has truly changed my life. I hope that can come through in this video. It has truly changed my life for the better. I have done intermittent fasting for over 100 days now and have had amazing benefits. In this video, I want to share with you what's worked for me and how it has improved both my mental and physical health. If you are considering intermittent fasting, stick around and I'll try to condense what's worked. Now, I need to say, I am not a scientist, I am not a nutritionist, I'm not a doctor. I mean, I wish I was, but I'm not. I'm just a normal 48-year-old girl. Hi, I'm Coral, who chose to try intermittent fasting because I needed to. And all of these opinions that I'm sharing in this video are from my own personal experiences. If you're interested in doing intermittent fasting, do your own research, please. I highly recommend it. These are just things that have worked for me. Now I need to rewind a little bit and tell you why I started this intermittent fasting journey. Right now it is the middle of March 2024. In November of 2023, I was in a very bad place. I was overweight, I was depressed, I was anxious, I had been an empty nester for a couple years. It just wasn't feeling like the me I used to know. I didn't recognize myself anymore. I was not in a good place. So I decided to Google, trusty Google, and I Googled, how do I reduce inflammation? And I am so thankful that one of the first things that came up, or as I was scrolling through, I found a podcast recommendation from Mel Robbins, who is a fellow Vermonter. I live in Vermont, who is a fellow Vermonter, and I had followed her, and she was doing an interview with Dr. Amy Shaw about reducing bloating and improving gut health. And so I thought, well, this is appropriate. And she had just streamed this, I think, a week before or something like that. And it's a 2-part series. I listened to her podcast and I am so very thankful I did, because I feel like that is the first step in me changing my life for the better. My key takeaways from that podcast was to implement intermittent fasting, was to implement fitness into my daily habits, and to start implementing fermented foods into my health, my body. And so I did. And I thank my lucky stars that I listened to that and I started that next day, because great things happened. I should also say I eliminated alcohol for reasons of my own. I'm 48, perimenopausal. I was overweight at the time. I needed to really kind of help my health. And so I eliminated alcohol. I also started tracking my foods every day. I wasn't restricting calories. I just wanted to be mindful of what I was eating every single day and what food was going into my body. So I started tracking my food using Lose It app. I never deprived myself of anything. I didn't follow keto or Whole30 or go vegetarian or pescatarian. I didn't avoid carbs. I was just very mindful of what I was putting into my body. In November, I started my intermittent fasting journey. So basically, what is intermittent fasting? In a nutshell, it is setting a clock and having a time period that you fast and having a time period that you eat. And what I chose to do was to do a 16-8 fasting window, meaning I fasted for 16 hours of the day and I ate for an 8-hour window during the day. For me, I chose to eat starting at 11 a.m. and I would stop eating around 6:30 a.m. plus or minus, just kind of make changes as I need. But that was what I ultimately started to do. Intermittent fasting is not about calorie counting. It is not about starving yourself. Please understand that. I was fueling my body for 8 hours with really good foods. Why? Because I wanted to improve my overall health mentally and physically. Basically, intermittent fasting is just a way of eating and when you eat. For my 16-hour fasting window, I allowed myself water, which I love to drink now. I was not drinking nearly enough water before I started intermittent fasting. So this has been a great improvement for me, mentally and physically. Being hydrated. I allow myself black coffee in the morning. I usually have 1 cup of black coffee in the morning. And my nighttime dessert is hot water with half a lemon squeezed into it. That's my dessert. You can trick your mind into anything being dessert. So for the 16-hour fasting period, I allowed myself plenty of water. I think I was trying to get between 60 and 80 ounces of water a day, I think. In the 8-hour feeding window, what I learned from Amy Shaw, Dr. Amy Shaw, from that podcast was eating fermented foods was really going to be beneficial for my gut health. And I knew my gut health was way off. I was extremely bloated literally in my gut, like my stomach protruded. And I'm not just saying it was from being overweight. I'm talking it was just bloated, extended in a way that I had never had really before. I think it had been happening over a couple of years, but when I say I did not recognize myself, I did not recognize myself. In that 8-hour feeding window, it's interesting. I really started implementing those fermented foods. I was being way more intentional about what I put into my body. I knew that I had to put really good food, protein, nutrients into my body during those 8 hours. So I was very mindful of that. I joined a local CSA where I get a weekly pickup of local organic vegetables and produce. I also joined another CSA that I can pick up locally grown meat. And I am starting to grow my own microgreens. So there's a lot of things that have changed in these past 100 days that I am so happy have changed for me and have really improved my health. And I'm smiling because this journey of intermittent fasting has truly changed my life. I hope that can come through in this video. It has truly changed my life for the better. And knowing that I am almost 50 and I'm at the second half of my life, I feel better now than I did when I was in my early 20s and young. No joke, it's awesome. We have been conditioned to eat food all the time. Eat breakfast cereals. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. We have access to so much food, and I feel like food has really become, at least for me, it was abused. I abused food. I did not really think too much about what I put into my body. I just thought, I'm sad, I'm going to eat food that will make me happy in the moment. And then an hour later, I would feel guilty. I had to break that cycle, and intermittent fasting helped me do that. In the beginning of this video, I mentioned I had both mental and physical improvements from implementing intermittent fasting into my daily routine. And I want to share those with you now. For my mental improvements, I have such greater clarity. I have the room to think clearly. I really felt cloudy before, like brain fog, cloudy. Not anymore. My depression and my anxiety have significantly lessened. I could almost say they're gone, even after 3 months, but I don't think those ever really, really go away, and that's okay. I just really appreciate that they are not at the top, they are now down here. I am more mindful of my nutrition, which I love. I feel so much better, and I feel like the old me is back. That is such an incredible improvement, choosing intermittent fasting, that could be reason enough, right? If you feel like you're lost before and you needed to kind of find yourself again, this can give you that clarity and that feeling of just finding yourself again. It did for me. I am more present. I am more patient. I feel like I'm a better mother, wife, partner, dog owner, you name it, because I feel so much better in my skin. What are the improvements I've seen physically over the past 100 days? I have significantly reduced the bloating and the inflammation in my body. It's very obvious. My face is less bloated, my hands are less bloated, my rings feel better. They were extremely tight, so tight that I couldn't even wear these. My stomach is less bloated, and that feels so good. That feels so good. Also, this completely surprised me. I have lost over 30 pounds in 100 days, which I still can't believe that number when I get on the scale. I cannot believe I've lost over 30 pounds. And I don't even want to say without trying, but truly, I lost over 30 pounds in 100 days, which is a lot of weight to lose in 100 days. But I would say week 1, I lost the most, and that was 5 pounds. But then every week it's been between 1 and 2 pounds, plus or minus. So it's a consistent weight loss of a recommended weight loss of 1 to 2 pounds per week. I would say now I am like really not losing much weight after 100 days, which is perfectly fine. I did not go into intermittent fasting with the goal of losing 20 pounds, 30 pounds, because I had not been successful keeping 5 pounds off in a year, okay? In fact, I gained 20 pounds from the beginning of 2023 until November of 2023. I gained 20 pounds. That's not normal. So I did not even know if I could lose 20 pounds because I had not been able to keep anything off. I was just very out of balance. That's a really good way of putting it. So losing over 30 pounds in 100 days, that's a lot. That's a lot. I could not be more proud of that physical improvement with intermittent fasting. I also wake up without any pain in my fingers, my joints in my fingers, or my joints in my toes. Previous to starting intermittent fasting, every morning I would wake up and that first movement of the fingers and the toes, although I have not been diagnosed with arthritis, I felt it. I had felt it brewing, and every morning I would feel it. I have not felt that since. My sleep is so much better. I sleep through the night now. Let me tell you, as a 48-year-old perimenopausal woman, getting my sleep was a struggle before, especially when I was drinking alcohol. I would wake up in the middle of the night, have to go to the bathroom, and then I could not fall back asleep because my mind started going. I don't have that anymore. In fact, I would say 95% of the time my sleep is sound through the night. Another great physical improvement is that I am stronger. Now this could be for a mental improvement and a physical improvement, but physically I am starting to get muscles, which is pretty impressive for me. I am doing some strength training and I try to incorporate that a few times a week. I'm lifting heavy weights. I am starting to see definition in my arms, which I've never done before, and I'm challenging myself because why not? Life is short. This is making me happy. Why not get stronger physically? That's a good thing for me. I love that it's giving me the confidence to try something new and to improve my strength. Bottom line for me is that intermittent fasting has shown me that the sky is the limit. Things that I did not think or even dream were possible have become possible for me, a 48-year-old perimenopausal woman. I feel really good, and the beauty is food does not rule my world, my day anymore. My results over these past 100 days still overwhelm me, still make me shocked. I am in disbelief sometimes, but these are my true results. I'm choosing intermittent fasting to make this a sustainable way of living for myself from now on. If you have any questions about intermittent fasting, feel free to share some in the comments below. I'll try my best to answer the questions. I may not have all the answers, but if you have a question just about something I said or want some more clarification on, definitely feel free to ask me below. I'd be more than happy to share that with you. Or if you are currently on an intermittent fasting journey and want to share some of your successes, please share them below. I feel like we are here a community on YouTube that we're so lucky that we can kind of learn from each other and try little bits of pieces of what worked for this person and what worked for this person and kind of combine them together to make something for our own unique selves. So maybe something that I've shared will resonate with you, and maybe something that you will share can resonate with me or someone else here in this community. Thanks guys so much for being here, for listening to my 100-day intermittent fasting journey, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys. And keep drinking your water because it's good for you. Like, oh my gosh, sometimes I can't open it. Now it's time to eat because, guys, it is 5 noon, which means I need to eat. It's my window. Bye, guys.